standing here. I'm standing here. This is the left position. This is the right position. So the cutter compensation to left we have to give. Cutter compensation to left G41. G41 cutter compensation to left, and now I am selecting a particular tool. You select a particular tool, say the M06. Okay, M06 is the selection of a tool. Which tool we are going to use? T01 I am going to use. So G41 indicates cutter compensation to left, and M06 indicates the selection of the tool. Okay, and what is this changing the tool? Which tool you are going to change? Whatever the earlier tool was there, that will be changed by T01. T01 is the cutter which I am going to use it. Okay, and the next N04. N04. This is M03. M03 is what? And spindle clockwise rotation. M03 is a spindle clockwise rotation, and which is the speed? What is the speed we are going to say? S is the speed. This is 600 or 700, whatever you want, you can take it. Okay, you understood? And this is what? This particular thing is common for all these. And only the thing which is going to change is G41. And whether cutter compensation is coming to left or coming to right. Okay, everything will remain same. Varun, any doubt you want to ask me in this? Any doubt you want to ask me? Be frank and yeah.
No doubt, sir.
Okay, and this is the common platform, the standard. This one we are going to use, and only the G41. Whether the cutter, see here, the cutter is like this. This particular part is left side, and this is right side. Okay, this is direction of movement. You stand here. This is the left side. Cutter compensation to left. And if you are coming, please look here. The direction of movement is like this. Cutter compensation to left, cutter compensation to left. Okay, now we'll see that. M03, S600 or S700, the speed 800, 300, whatever you want, you can give it. We are not going to do actual machining, it doesn't affect the work. And M03 is the spindle rotation in the clockwise direction. Okay, now I have to, what I have to do? I have to get down 5 mm depth. I want to come down. I want to come down 5 mm depth. While coming 5 mm depth, see, initially what happens now? Initially, the cutter is here. Please try to understand. The cutter is here. The work is here. Work is here. I want to remove this particular part. Okay. And now what I want to do is I want to move down cutter 5 mm. So that means while rotating it will first move down 5 mm, then 5 mm depth it will go, and next 5 mm feed it will be going with the same speed like this. And now before I start this, I have to switch on the coolant. At this particular position, I have to switch on the coolant and move this. Okay. So wherever the position it may be, it has to come to this reference position. It has to come to this reference position. So N05, G00, and it has come to this position. It has to come to this position. You should not touch here. So X0, Y0, and by giving some 5 mm distance, the cutter has to stand here. That is what I wanted to do. I wanted to locate this cutter from home position here. So at rapidly it has to come to rapidly G00, X0, Y0, and from the work how much distance it has to be? Around 5 mm. Z5 I want to switch on the coolant on. So rapidly it has to come from home position to the reference position G01, G00, and what is the X position? 0. and Y position is 0, I want to give some space in between this workpiece, and that is Z 5 mm I am going to give, and I am going to switch on the coolant. Anything you want to discuss in this? Anything you want to discuss in this?
No, sir.
Okay. Now, already it is 5 mm above. I want to get into 5 mm depth inside. That means I have to move towards the work. That is, towards the work is this is minus Z, and this is plus Z. Okay. Now, please look here. It has to move 10 mm inside in order to cut down the material. Already it is at a distance of 5 mm from the on the top of this the cutter. So it will come to 5 mm, it will come to the surface, it has to get into 5 mm, that means minus 10 mm it has to get into. So interpolation, this is, please look here, N06, and it is linear interpolation, G01, and from this position it has to get down 10 mm inside. So that is Z minus 10, and what is the feed rate? Some feed rate you give 150 I am giving. Anything you want to ask me, please ask here only. In between, don't ask. While writing only, please ask me. Already, please look here. Once again, I will explain this. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. The first program I will be explaining it neatly. The second onwards you have to do it yourself. That is what the final finishing I required. The tool are somewhere here. The tool are somewhere here. This is called as home position. Now I wanted the tool to come to this position. Here it has to come. Okay, by leaving a distance of 5 mm I want to keep. I don't want to touch it. And once after that, once it come to this position, next I want to move it. I want to get down to 5 mm inside. That means it has to move minus 10 mm from here. You understood? So rapidly it has to move from the home position to the reference position. Then it has to move down. So here I have given G00, it is rapid movement, X0, Y0 and Z5. So it is by leaving a 5 mm gap from the work, it is standing here, and I have switched on the coolant on. So without coolant we should not run the machine. Next block, it has to go straight. Once it has to do the machining, I have to give the feed rate, I have to go with a linear interpolation. That is linear interpolation, it is controlled movement in one direction. Which direction? I want to move in the Z direction, minus 10 mm. That means it has to get into the work of 5 mm inside. Then with G01, that is controlled linear interpolation along the X direction. If it is G01 X direction, if it is along the Y direction, it is G01 Y direction. It is along the Z direction, G01 Z direction. It may be plus or minus. You see that. If it is moving towards the work, it is minus. It is moving away from the work, it is plus. Now you see G01 minus 10 feed rate I given. Okay. Next. Now I want to move from this point to this point. My point is, please look here. Already I am here. I went into a 5 mm depth. I want to move from this point to this point. So that means along the X direction I have to move 80 mm. Along the Y direction I have to move 0 mm. Correct, no? So please write N07, and it is linear interpolation 001 and X80 Y0. So our tool is here. Our tool is come to this point. Any doubt you want to ask me? Any doubt you want to ask me?
No, sir.
Okay, I'll show this also. From 0, 0 position, it has come to 80 mm and 0 mm. This one. Okay, just I have written. You should not write it. The next one. I want to move like this. So how to move? You look into the figure and tell me from this position to this position I want to go. This position to this position I want to go. X80, Y15. Correct, no? X80, Y15 with linear interpolation. N08, G01, X80, Y15. Don't put comma. Y15. So here it has this particular thing. It has come to this position. Correct, no? Yes or no? Varun?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sir,
Now let me go to
Varun
next
got
block.
disconnected, sir.
Please tell me.
Varun got disconnected, sir. He's waiting in lobby, sir.
Please inform me immediately so that
Yeah,
everyone
yeah,
will
sure.
see. Yeah. Varun, are you joined?
I think he's waiting, sir.
Let us start. Varun?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. See, once after this, once again, continuously I will be telling you the similar way I will be continuing later on. See, this particular thing, N07, what I am doing is from 00 position, I am going to come to the 80 and 0 mm. This is what? This is 1. Okay? This N07. Please don't write it. I am showing it. That's all. And N08, what I am doing? From this position to this position, I have to come. That is 80 and 15. See, 80 and 15 I have come. Now, after this, I should have to go to next position, that 115. I have to go to 115. N09, there is also linear interpolation, X100, Y15. Y15, I come to this position. Next, what I am doing? I am going to this 160. So N10, it is linear interpolation, X100, Y60. And if you want, you can leave it also, no problem. This already we are in H position. Here you need not to write 80. You can leave it. You need not to write 100. Already we are in this position only. Okay, no problem. Whether whatever it is, you write the geometry. Next, it has to come to this position. This particular position is 15 and 60. 15 and 60. I should come to this 15 and 60. So this is N11, G01. It is linear interpolation. X15, Y60. Correct, no? Y60. This is this distance. And if you want to give minus, again it has to be given like this. It is not required. Already I have taken this as the datum line. From this I am going to write. Okay, next. I have to come to this position. This is what? 0 and 47. Correct, no? 0 and 47. I am coming to this. So N12, G01, it is linear interpolation, X0 and Y47. X0, Y47, I come to this position. Then next, you N30, you can write G00 G01, that is linear interpolation from that position to x0, y0, I have should to come. I have to come to x0, y0. So by looking into the geometry, you have to write this. This particular thing belongs to the geometry. You can see that this particular thing belongs to the geometry of the part. By looking into the geometry, we are going to write this part. Since it is a linear, G01, G01 have taken. In some other cases, what happens? G01, if you have written, you need not to write. This is, I'll explain you. In other cases, it is module. That means in the next step also, unless you, please look here. Initially, I called, please understand, I have called Raja name. I have called Raja name along with A and B names. And again, next what I am going to do, Raja is the class representative, for example. So what I am going to do is I am going to call A next. That means Raja is there. Raja is also there. Okay, Raja is also there. And there are two secretaries. The class representative, Raja and Varun are the two representatives. Now please look here. I have taken Raja with A, B, and Raja with some C person. Raja with D I have taken. And next what I am doing is I am going to write Varun with A is there in the class. AC is there, and Varun and only C is there, and Varun and B is there. Now what I am going to do is here. These are module, that is, unless I write the next name, this Raja name will be there. Okay, and once I write other name, then the Raja name will not be there. That means the Raja name will be live in all the blocks until I write the next class representative. In the similar way here, this particular G01 is the thing that will be always, it will be live inside. Unless I write other G code, it will be continued. So G01 need not to be written, it will be continued up to the next G. Whatever it is, you write G01, no problem. That is, that I'll be explaining it later, once if it is required. Okay, so once completed the profile, I have completed writing the profile. Okay, I have completed writing the profile. Now next, let me come to what I have to do. Once I completed, let me get into 5mm inside again. N14, G01, G00, G01, okay, G01, Z5 I am writing. That means I am going to get into the depth of the work. Okay, get into the depth of the work. And next I had written in the previous time one thing. What is this? G28. What is G28? One of you please tell me what is G28?
Return to reference point.
Yeah, return to reference point. G28, X0, Y0 and Z0. So this is the reference point that will be taken as a reference point. Again, it will be continued. So one cycle I have completed, and the next again it will be taking 5mm depth, and it will complete the work. Next, N16, it is coolant off and spindle stop I am going to do. Once after I completed the whole cycle, I am going to switch off the coolant and spindle stop I do. Before I switch off the coolant, I am going to switch off I am going to switch off the spindle, and then I am going to switch off the coolant. Then I am going to terminate the program. I am going to terminate the program. Stop the program. M30. This is what you have to remember. the procedure. Okay, so without stopping, I'll be explaining it once again. Please look into this. First, write this program name. A particular program which I have written, that particular program will be written in one name. So whenever you require, you can retrieve it by giving a name of the program. Okay, so before that, the which company, what is the block size, all these will be written. The material and what is the type of material, the specification, all these will be written. But all those I am not interested in writing, only I am interested in writing the profile program. So let me take N01 and G21. What I want to do, I want to give the program in mm, and G94, I want to give the feed rate in minute, and I want to select the absolute programming. Okay, absolute programming. Next, I want to cutter compensation. I want to go to G28. Next block I'm going to give what is the reference input. What is the reference input? This is G28. You give the reference input X0, Y0, Z0. So this is the reference input I am given to give. Okay, next let me go to next block. Next block, G41 indicates the cutter compensation to left. You can see in the program itself, the cutter compensation will be to the left. Okay, G41 cutter compensation to left, G40 is cutter compensation cancel, and G42 is cutter compensation to right, and cutter compensation to left, and M06 change the tool. The meaning of M06 indicates changing the previous tool by a 301 tool. The 301 tool is this one. This is 201 tool. I am going to replace this tool by the previous one. Already it was there. Okay. Let me go to next block, N4. That is the block number 4. Therein, I am going to give first, before I get this particular cutter to the workpiece, I am going to switch on the coolant. I am going to switch on the coolant. So you give the, okay, you give the, this one, the M03 indicates what? M03, already M06, it is the coolant is on. The coolant is, I have changed the tool. Now the spindle in clockwise, the spindle speed I am going to give. And what is this M03? What is this M03? Please tell me, any one of you. Either if you want, you can refer and tell, or if you don't want to refer, leave it. You tell me like that only. Whether you want a spindle speed in clockwise direction and counterclockwise direction, what should be the speed that I given? Okay, this is also more. And N05, I am going to give what I want to do. I want to give the initial position along with the coolant on. The coolant on M08 and G00. That means from here I want to get down to this position. That is with a rapid movement X0, Y0, Z5. By leaving a gap of 5 mm here, I want to get down. At the same time, I want to switch on the coolant. Okay, that is all. N06, what does it indicate? I want to give a feed rate. Once it get into the workpiece, then I have to give the feed rate. It is getting into the workpiece into a 5 mm, already 5 mm above, so I have to give minus 10 mm. So G01, it is linear interpolation along minus Z direction with a feed rate of 150 mm per minute. Okay, the next N07, I am going to come to this particular position. That is X80 and Y0. This is war. And from this position, I want to go to this position. That is G01, X80, Y15. This is war. I want to come from this position. It is linear G01 and X100, Y15. This is war. I want to come to this position X100 and Y60. So with the linear interpolation, I have come to this position G01, X100, Y60. I come to this. Next, come to this position x01, that is linear interpolation, x15 and y60, this is over. Then next I come to this position, this is the linear interpolation G01, and what is this? X0, Y47. Okay, this is over. Then let me come to this position from here to here. It is linear interpolation X0, Y0 I have completed. Then next is G01, Y15. That means at this position again I want to get into the depth of 5 mm. Okay, depth of 5 mm I get into. Once you are getting into the workpiece, plus 5. Okay, plus 5. The next after this, once after this, it is the cycle will be completed. Then what is the return position? What is the return position? From there the program has to start G28 X0 Y0 Z0. This is the return position. So from here the whole cycle have to be repeated many times by getting into a depth of 5 mm. Then the program will be completed. Then next is M05 is what? The spindle stop and the coolant stop. Spindle stop, coolant stop, and end the program. Okay. Do you understood?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And with a similar this one, you can find it in your the audio and video section. You can download it or you can take a snap of it. Please take a snap and you can apply the same formula, and if you want I will be sending you the program also.